Evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the Hive here at Mitchell High School, where tonight the Senators will go back to work on the court following a long 2-week layoff due to snow and ice in the area. The Senators coming off of tough back-to-back losses 2 weeks ago on the road at Perry Central and at home in overtime to Edinburgh as they try to bounce back. Meanwhile, and in the same fashion, the host Mitchell Blue Jackets here on their homecoming night in the Hive will try to bounce back from their last outing on January 5th, which was a 21-point loss here at home to a very good Paoli Rams ball club. Tonight it's the Senators and the Jackets in a clash of PLAC teams that are very hungry for a big win, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast of Senator basketball here on Salem's 1220 with my sidekick and broadcast partner, Senator Football's own Coach Mark Gibson. As I mentioned, the Senators have definitely struggled as of late, and perhaps that long extra winter break this past week due to the snow and the ice was just what the doctor ordered, as it gave Coach Smith's ball club a chance to rebound from those two tough losses and get just a little bit of time off to rest the legs, get over some sickness, deal with some, symptoms that they'd been battling that were flu-like, and try to get this lineup finally healthy and ready to go. Unfortunately, though, it came at a time when this young group, started to gain a little bit of traction. They'd won those last two games in the Springs Valley Holiday Tourney and actually played pretty well in both losses in that weekend, 2 weekends ago in the two losses, playing Perry Central very tough, making a bid to try to come back in the late stages of that game, and then falling at home, like we said, in overtime to right now a considered favorite in Sectional 62, the Edinburgh Lancers on their home floor 2 weeks ago tomorrow night. And, of course, Coach Smith's team will now try to bounce back here against a very hungry Mitchell team. As we said, this is a very tough venue to play in from a player standpoint. It was one that I always found to be one of the toughest on the schedule, playing here in the Hive. It just seems like sometimes not necessarily the DAC sticked against you on purpose with the officiating or anything of that nature. Just a very tough venue to play in, and it's much like Crawford County, a couple of really tough places to play at in conference, and so the Senators will, of course, be battling that as well. It's a loud crowd, a pretty good crowd here on hand for Mitchell's homecoming tonight. Big cheer block across the way for Mitchell, so we'll see how these two teams do. Mitchell's only had a couple of practices under their belt after being out for a week due to the inclement weather. West Washington, much the same, finally getting back into the gym on Wednesday, so we'll see how well-conditioned these two teams are after a long layoff and an extra week of delayed holiday break. And we'll see if the Senators can't pick up a much-needed win here tonight in conference play, as they currently stand at 0-2. But, Coach, whether it's football or basketball, you know this all too well. Being a player in the Patoka Lake back in your heyday, being a coach now within the football program, you've seen a lot. You've seen teams go on the road several times and play in tough venues within the conference and just throughout the course of the schedule. Tonight, coming into this type of environment after such a long layoff, how does a coach or how does a coaching staff try to measure up a win or a loss in this kind of environment, knowing that you've had so long off?
Well, that's tough. I mean, especially, like you said, 2 weeks off. But, if it's been that long, you got to, early on in the game, is the focus there? Are we doing the little things right? Are we taking care of the ball? Are we hitting our free throws? Coach Smith at certain times has talked about our focus. You can really tell on the free throw line that maybe our focus wasn't at 100%. So I think when you go into a tough venue, or if you're facing a tough opponent, I think it comes down to the little things. And just about, you can say that in a lot of athletic events, but, focus, competitiveness, and I've said it before on our broadcast when we've been away. I mean, one thing that what travels is defense. Attitude and effort, that travels. You may have a place where it's tough to shoot in, but you can always control your attitude, your effort, which basically, that's what defense is: attitude, effort, communication. So, we got to make sure we're packing it in the paint. We're making sure we're getting back on defense so we don't give up layups. So, first thing first, focus, make sure we're doing the little things, and defend.
Well, tonight they play the Mitchell Blue Jackets here in the Hive, and Coach Doug Thomas's team really hasn't had a lot of buzz around this group after losing their big-time prime-time guard, 6'5" Dalton Blackwell to graduation last spring. It's a little bit of a new look. They've got 3 seniors in their starting lineup, but of course they miss Blackwell's ability to handle his length and perimeter prowess, and also his ability to get to the rim off of the dribble. But again, this is a 500 team coming in, and coach, they're just 1-3 in the Patoka Lake, and after this weekend they will have finished their slate of conference games, of course, here tonight against West Washington, and then they'll make their trip to Leopold tomorrow night. Leopold, the site of a conference matchup this evening, as the Commodores are hosting Tom Bradley's Bulldogs. They'll host this Mitchell Blue Jacket team tomorrow night, so Mitchell will know after this weekend just exactly where they will fall in terms of their overall record. But a very sound team and a defensive team that'll get after you.
Yeah, they're definitely going to make sure they're getting up into us some pressure. You know, they've seen that we've had some struggles scoring, and you know, they're going to try and get after us. And like I said, they've played some pretty decent teams relatively close. So you know, it's not like this is a bad ball club. So we got to. And, you know, one thing that we've struggled with is teams with some experience, and these guys start 3 seniors, you know, whereas, you know, at times we have 3 freshmen on the court. So sometimes it's just, you know, we've struggled with some experience. So that's going to be a key, too. Are they playing free and clear, which experienced teams do? Sometimes when you have a young team like ours, that you kind of tense up a little bit, especially conference plays. And like you said, tough venues. We'll see which team's playing the tempo that they want and playing freer, you know, looser.
Well, as always, we want to take this moment during our John Jones GM City Senator tip-off pregame show to thank you, the fans, for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Senator basketball. And of course, a shout out and thank you goes out to all of our great sponsors, including John Jones GM City, our pregame show sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors. They'll bring you the Senator halftime report, and then Ace Hardware of Salem will bring you our post-game wrap-up here from the Hive tonight, as well as McDonald's on South Main Street, Walmart of Salem, Salem Crossing, Meadowview Healthcare, and then Brady Bishop and Channel C, all great sponsors of Senator basketball and Salem's 1220 this season. When we come back, we'll sit down and have a word with head coach Sean Smith, get his thoughts on tonight's matchup against the Blue Jackets here on the road at the Hive, and we will continue our countdown to the tip. It's the Jackets and the Senators, but first, this word from the Indiana High School Athletic Association, and we'll come back and talk to Coach Smith right after that.
Ace is a place with the helpful hardware, folks.
We have 5 kids, and somehow their hands and feet are always on the wall. So I went to Molly at Ace. I told Sharon, when it comes to durable paint, you can't do better than Valspar Optimus.
Ace is the place that knows a lot about paint, but not why kids drag their hands on walls when they walk.
Before your next project, talk to your local paint experts, Eva Marie and Erica at Ace Hardware of Salem, about our top-rated interior and exterior paints.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Senator Tip-Off pregame show as we get you set for tonight's battle here at the Hive between the host Mitchell Blue Jackets at 5-5 on the year, taking on your West Washington Senators 4-8 on the season. And we're joined now on this portion of the program, as always, by Senator head coach, Mr. Sean Smith. Coach, let's just start with the obvious. Of course, with the snow and the inclement weather over the last week or so, I know it's made things very difficult. It seems like it's been more like a month since your kids have got to play, and last week your game gets canceled on Friday with Springs Valley gets postponed and pushed back to the end of February. So just talk to us about how you've been able to navigate some of these snow days and how much practice time you've really been able to get in.
Well, it's definitely been a challenge here, really, since we've come back from from Christmas break. We've had a lot of illness. Our last practice before all the snow and ice, we really only had 9 or 10 kids at practice because everybody was out sick, and so we've been battling that. It's been problematic as far as being able to get things accomplished, and then of course having a break, which really probably was for the best. Allowed kids to stay at home and probably be a little more quarantined and hopefully get all the illness, all the bacteria and bugs out of here. But everybody seems to be healthy now, which is positive. But we haven't really been able to get much accomplished over the last couple weeks, really.
Of course, coming off of that tough overtime loss in your last outing against Edinburgh, a close one, 56-52. I know that's been a while back, and you've probably put most of that in the rearview mirror, but trying to go back and think about your last couple of outings, both with Edinburgh and Perry Central. Just give me some positive takeaways from both of those games. I know they were both tough losses, but some things that you tried to build off of leading up to what you thought was going to be that Springs Valley game and now going into Mitchell.
Yeah, well, I'm really focused as much about on the Perry Central game. That we don't play them again, and that game's that's gone. But we definitely have thought about the Edinburgh game was good. It's a sectional opponent. Right now you would say they're the favorite to win the sectional, and I think we gave them a tough game, and we had an opportunity to win at the end. So we've been kind of thinking about different things that we can do to maybe attack Edinburgh a little better and give them some problems, and just kind of really more focusing on getting ready for the tournament, and really this last however much time we get, hopefully there's no more snow, but really this last stretch here, this last 5 weeks is really about getting ready for the tournament for us, and that's what we're trying to do is get kind of tighten some things up and get a rotation rolling and add some wrinkles and things that we might we think might help us against our sectional opponents.
Well, of course, after those two games with Perry Central and Edinburgh, those two tough losses, those were the first two games back in quite some time for a guy like Nick Mars, and we touched on both of the post-game shows after those two outings that Nick had come back and been pretty strong for having so much time off, and Harrison's been playing well, and you're starting to see more production out of a guy like Jake Strange coming off the bench. What's really contributed to some of their growth within their post-game?
Well, I think reps and just confidence, just getting out and playing. And Nick, it was tough not having him. That set him back a little bit, but I'll say Nick's really stepped up in practice recently, and in his last, really over the season for the most part, he's played like a senior. He's playing pretty hungry and aggressive, and I could see him, continuing to build here down the stretch and keep getting better. And Harrison, with him, a lot of it's confidence, and I think he's getting some confidence in his play, and same thing with Jake. Being a freshman, a lot of times it's just just learning how to play through things and figuring out what sometimes things that worked for you against maybe your age level, it's not going to work against a junior or senior, and so he's having to learn some lessons, on the job training type stuff, but. I just think that there are guys that are going to continue to get better down the stretch.
And of course, not only do we, look at the post production that you've got out of your guys, and you just spoke to that, but also with your guard play. Your four deep, interchangeable parts with the two freshmen and the two juniors as well, and then you throw in Cam, who's battled some illness. So, how do you feel? How would you assess your guard play up to this point and where they're at, especially headed toward the home stretch?
Well, I'm excited to see where we're at because we haven't played, a lot of our games really either without Cam's missed 4 and Holden missed 2. So, 6 of our last 9 or 10 games, I guess, we've had without one of those guys. So it's going to be, I'm looking forward to seeing how the rotation works with having everybody full strength, and I'd like to see Cam being healthy and see him step up and play like a senior and be really aggressive and assertive, and Parker and Holden have both grown a lot over the first half of the year, and Mikey and Caden have given us some quality minutes. Caden played really well in the Edinburgh game, and Mikey's had various games throughout the year where he's showed what he's capable of doing. We're just looking for really all those guys to be consistent and with their play, and as far as taking care of the basketball and playing defense and knocking shots down when they have them.
And then, Coach, you look at your overall production and trying to get a rotation down. As you said, it's been tough to kind of assess where you're at as far as narrowing down that rotation a little bit due to all the health concerns, the sickness, the couple of concussions. But you have talked about the need to get guys as many minutes as possible and playing them those extra quarters of JV. But at the same time, I know that at the beginning of the season, we talked about maybe narrowing that down come February. So how close are you to kind of nailing down more of a permanent rotation, and how will that rotation continue within some JV quarters?
Yeah, we've been utilizing the fifth quarter with a lot of our kids because they didn't have it. They don't have a lot of experience. So that extra quarter every night, those over time they compound and accumulate into giving them some extra games under their belt this year. But yeah, we're getting close to that time where we don't want to risk an extra quarter for an injury. Getting close to the tournament and also want to save guys' legs. We're definitely going to do it tonight. I see us doing it next week against North Harrison. But after that game, I think we'll probably stop doing that with some of the guys and start really rounding out the rotation. And again, like we said, like I mentioned, we just really building, moving forward for the tournament every day, trying to get better and get ourselves ready to compete for the sectional.
Now you turn your sights on another Patoka Lake Athletic Conference opponent here tonight at the Hive to take on this Mitchell team. They're 5-5, just 1-3 in conference play, and they're coming off of a January 5th loss to Paoli. So it's not like they've had a lot of time either to play a lot of games in between, or maybe even get a lot of practice time in with so many schools being out. Just tell us what you know about this personnel grouping that Doug Thomas brings.
Well, they've got three seniors that start, and they play really hard, and they seem to be playing really well together. The past couple of years, they've maybe played through one or two guys a lot. Where this team, you really can't key on anybody. They're just playing together, and you gotta guard everybody. But Cade Pritchett, looks like they're trying to play him at the point. At least what I've seen, he's running the point a little more. And just being kind of a distributor for him, and he plays really solid defense. And it looks like Cameron Blackwell, Peyton Moore, and Jarrett Phillips are their three guys that are going to do the bulk of their scoring for him. And then Braxton Barrett in the post is a big, strong kid, battles, plays real hard, and he gets some baskets, gets some stuff around the basket for him. And then they've got a bunch of young kids they'll bring off the bench, and like I said, it looks like they're playing really hard and competing together, and just it didn't look to me like they're, like I said, playing through any one particular player. They're spreading it around and trying to get the best shot they can get, and they're playing pretty well. So on the road, it's going to be a really tough game for us, and it's their homecoming, so they're going to be fired up for that. And but I also suspect it's going to be probably a little sloppy game, and see some guys red-faced out there because neither one of us have been able to really get a whole lot of practice in lately, and it's amazing how after 1 or 2 days, guys get out of basketball shape. It's just crazy, but it happens. And
that was my conversation with Senator head coach Sean Smith, and as you heard him say, conditioning and the ability to maybe make it a full game's worth of play. Some of these guys used to maybe playing 28 to 32 minutes, 30 out of 32 minutes. It'll be interesting to see tonight how well some of their legs hold up after both of these teams have been off for a while and had very limited time in the gym to kind of get their basketball legs back. Let's quickly run down tonight's keys to victories, brought to you by John Jones GM City. First and foremost, it's going to be early shot selection. Can we get high percentage shots early and capitalize? Secondly, we've got to be able to get to the stripe. At Perry, it was just 7 of 14. At home the other night against Edinburgh, or 2 weeks ago rather, it was 9 out of 11. So not a high volume of free throws in those last two games, those last two losses. Got to try to get there, and this is a tough place to do it in. Third and finally, survive the Hive. We talked about it early on in the pregame. This is a tough venue to play in. Senators got to bring their A game here tonight after being off for 2 weeks. Those keys to victory brought to you by John Jones GM City all season long here on our pregame show. Call the fine folks at John Jones GM City by phoning 1-800-473-5546. That's 1-800-I-SELL-GM. Check them out on the web at johnjonesautogroup.com, or better yet, stop by that beautiful showroom and lot, 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little. We're going to step aside for our final time as we wrap up things here from the Hive and our John Jones GM City pregame show. When we come back, we'll we'll run down tonight's starting lineups and have the opening tip for the Senators and Jackets. After this, you're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220. City, 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones, GM City. You see so many because they pay so little. First for Doug Thomas and the host Blue Jackets, 5-5 on the year, 1-3 in the Patoka Lake. Doug Thomas, 39-77 in his sixth season here at Mitchell. His team averages 54.4 and gives up 53.3 per contest. Their last outing way back on January 5th, a loss 71-50 to the Paoli Rams. Number 3, Cade Pritchett starts at the point, 6'1" and a senior at 3 points per ball game. He's joined in the backcourt by 2 other guards. Number 12, Cameron Blackwell, 5'9" and a senior at 10 points per game. And number 20, Peyton Moore, 6 foot and a junior at 12 points per game. Up front, Jarrett Bear Phillips, number 31, 6'1" and a sophomore at 12 points a game to help pace the attack for the Jackets. He's joined in the front court by 55, 6'3" senior Braxton Barrett at 8 points per ball game. For Coach Sean Smith, 56-35 in his fourth season in the Bird. His team averages 46.9 and gives up 49.6. That last outing was a 56-52 overtime loss to Edinburgh. He'll start a 3-guard set. Holden Bousman, 6 foot and a freshman at 8.5 points per game. Joined in the backcourt by number 10, Cam Zink, the 6 foot senior at 3.8 per contest. Number 12, Parker Green, starts at the guard, small forward spot, also 6 foot. He's a freshman, 6.3 points per game is his average and nearly 4 boards per contest. Up front, Harrison Sanford on 1 block, 6'2" and a sophomore at 6 points, 4 rebounds per contest. And the senior big man, 6'3" senior Nick Mars at the other forward, 9.6 point per game average. Tonight, your Indiana High School Athletic Association officials are Mr. Mike Zaire, Mike Braun, and Craig Bechtel. Senators in the road blue threads trimmed in white and red with red letters and numerals. Home white threads for the Blue Jackets trimmed in blue and gold with blue letters and numerals. Mitchell wins the opening tip, and right away they go to Bear Phillips, Jarrett Bear Phillips, that is the 6'1" sophomore, as he's on the board early. Give Mitchell the quick 2-0 lead off of the opening tip.
Yeah, Senators actually controlled it, but it got tipped away. So it's just kind of an unfortunate break. It just kind of tipped right to them.
Mitchell will open up a little man-to-man defense in the half court. Little nickel set for them as they'll run someone off the high post. That's Harrison Sanford, and right away Harrison's able to answer right back with 2 of his own. And we've tied up 2 apiece. First tie of the night. 7:19 and counting in this first quarter of play. Senators with a little man-to-man to answer at the other end, but right back at it is Phillips. And Phillips has a quick 4 for the Jackets. He's their go-to on the block, Coach.
At some point, I mean, he got it at the free throw line and nobody stopped him. I mean, you got to stop ball.
Senators break some token full court pressure as Zink controls out front, brings it back to midcourt. Now to Bousman in front of the Mitchell Blue Jacket coaching staff. He'll try to feed inside to Mars high post. We'll have our first whistle and foul of the night. This one whistled against the Blue Jackets. And foul's going to go on Phillips. So Good news for West Washington. Maybe we get him in some early foul trouble. Again, our first foul of the night at the 6:50 mark. Ball tipped away, and it's going to be the last touch by West Washington. First turnover of the night for either ball club. 6:48 to go. Glad to have you along for the ride tonight. Misty Jones alongside of Mark Gibson. Craig Akers running the live stream feed for us. So you got video and audio if you're watching at home or at work. Out front, Phillips swings around out top to Barrett. Now over on the wing to Moore. Moore kicks back out top. 3-ball on the way. Would not go for Cameron Blackwell. And the Senators control the defensive board. Green off the feed into the front court. Feeds the post. Back out to Harrison Sanford to Green for 3. In and out, no good. Harrison to fight for the rebound. But Phillips able to take it away. Nifty behind the back dribble at midcourt. He brings it in, tries to spin on Zink, and he'll be called for a carry. And that'll be the first turnover of the night for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, Senators, we need to get off to a hot start. One of my keys before was our first half shooting has been very poor. I mean, our opponents are out shooting us 48% to 35. I mean, we just have to get off to better starts.
Senators will meet a little 1-3-1 trap. Cade Pritchett out top of the trap, long and athletic. Good receiver and DB for the Mitchell football team. Holden tries to throw corner, turnover number 2. And back the other way comes Peyton Moore and the Jackets. He'll lose the dribble, be stripped on the poke away from Bousman. It'll come into the hands of Zink. And Coach Bousman has to help out Mike Zaire in the backcourt. Mitchell turns it over for the second time. Zaire with the call, and this one will go against Peyton Moore. His first one of the night. Team foul number 2 against the Jackets.
Kind of a slow start, but Mitchell Phillips got to the basket a couple times early, but since then it's kind of slowed down the pace a little bit.
Holden will take the inbounds pass.
Looks like
He'll meet a little matchup, blitzing 2-3 out top. Kick it over to Zink. Now on the baseline, nice little crab dribble, turn and take by Parker. His shot deflected away, got it back, missed again. Mars gets an offensive rebound. He misses. Harrison with 2 offensive rebounds. Parker with 1. It still won't go. And finally it comes off to Braxton Barrett. So Green gets 2 offensive boards. Mars gets 1 and Harrison gets 2. And the Senators still can't find the range as Barrett misses a jumper at the other end for the Blue Jackets. Cam Zink with the defensive rebound. Harrison in transition, spin move, nice nifty move, can't get it to go off the glass. Rebound fought for, and coming out of there with it is Cameron Blackwell. He'll leave it for Bear Phillips, and Phillips will be whistled for the travel on the Euro step attempt as Coach Gibson's pin has a little smoke rolling off of it here early. 4:58 to go.
Just like I said, I mean, we have just struggled to put the ball in the basket. 1 of 8 already. I mean, that's just. And how many have been right at the rim?
Almost all of them.
Every one of them, except for Parker's 3.
Zink, dangerous pass. Green there to save it away. Mitchell's turned it over 3 times to West Washington's 2. Nice feed back out top from Bousman to Sanford. Counted and 1 off the dribble drive. Harrison gets the tough jumper from the free throw line area. Harrison's got all 4 for the Senators to answer Jarrett Phillips' 4 early for Mitchell. 4:45 to go, and we'll have our first free throws of the night.
This is pretty key to see how, like you said, a tough venue to shoot. It's kind of a weird background, just the cement blocks, but see how we do and what our focus is from the line.
And Harrison able to finish on the old-fashioned 3-point play, so make it a 5-4 lead. Senators with their first advantage of the night, and good news for West Washington. Already 1 for 1 from the charity stripe, but a long way to go in this one. 3-0 on the foul count against the home-standing Jackets. Still, Holden able to swing it right away from Phillips. Leads the break 2-on-2, leaves it off for Harrison, and he finishes off the window for 2 more. Give Harrison 7, Mitchell 4. Timeout on the floor taken by Doug Thomas and the Jackets. It'll be a 30-second timeout. While we have a moment, let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Senator Basketball on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
4:23 to go. Opening act here from Mitchell High School. Senators out to the 7-4 advantage, and coach, a nice start for Harrison Sanford, especially on the glass and down low.
Absolutely. Harrison's done a nice job. I mean, the Senator Ball Club's being very, very aggressive on the offensive boards, with 5 offensive rebounds already. So they're being aggressive, which is nice to see. Like I said, two-week layoff. You don't know how you're going to come out sluggish, but we seem to be very aggressive.
4:18 and counting. Mitchell back into the front court. Pritchett leaves it off now. Out top to Barrett. He's going to give it up quickly to Moore. Goes right back to Pritchett. He'll try to dribble drive. Not a big scorer for Mitchell. More of a defender and ball handler. And now we're going to get a block. Thought he was going to get a little player control with the forearm shiver.
That was close.
This one will go against Parker Green. Senators will pick up their first personal of the night. So Mitchell will reset with a box look on the inbound set. To trigger it in, Cameron Blackwell. He'll lob it out top for Phillips. Right back to Blackwell. 3 ball on the way is good. Blackwell with his first points of the night. We're tied for the second time at 7 apiece. 2 ties, 1 lead change. Just over the halfway point here of this first quarter of play from Mitchell. Homecoming night for the Jackets. Both teams in desperate search of a conference win. West Washington 0-2. Mitchell just 1-3, and another miss down low for West Washington. This one for Green, but a great hustle play to get the offensive board and saved by Mars. Floater will go for Holden Bowsman just inside the left elbow. Holden on the board with his first 2 of the night. Senators back out in front at 9-7.
Yeah, we're answering points with points. That's one of the keys too. We've seen our team, the Senators go on some scoring droughts, but we're answering points with points.
Out front, good pressure. Senators stick with the man-to-man throughout most of this first quarter thus far. We've seen a couple of different looks. Some blitzing 2-3 zone, 1-3-1 zone, and man for the Blue Jackets here early. Deep shot, right baseline, way off the mark for Braxton Barrett. Zink will control the rebound, weak side, and leave it off to Bowsman, and Holden will walk it into the front court. Mitchell's matched up on this trip. Back to the man-to-man. They'll feed high post to Harrison Sanford. Looks down low. Weak side low look to Parker Green with a little baby hook and a kiss off the glass for his first 2. It's 11-7. Senators with their largest lead of the night at 4. 2.5 to go. First quarter. Phillips to answer with a jumper. Right side elbow. It's good. Phillips has 6 for the Jackets. It's 11-9. As we see a little 2-2-1 full court pressure here for the Jackets on this trip. Showing their full arsenal, going everything but the kitchen sink at West Washington in this opening frame. Into the front court, left side, far corner. Harrison's going to flip down low on the block. On the little lob pass to Mars, had nowhere to go, lost real estate, and decided to kick it out. 2-minute warning, first quarter. Zink controls out top above the volleyball spike line. It'll send it off left side to Sanford. Back out now to Bowsman on the ball reversal. It goes to Zink. Back out top. Senators patient here, trying to work a screen in the post. They get it mid-post to Parker. He turns back, pounded by Blackwell, and a near steal. Harrison with the save. Back to Holden, now to Zink, right side, minute 36 and counting. Good defensive set here for the Jackets.
Not being patient, too. They could have forced a couple bad
There's
shots.
the flex cut. Mars misses the layup off the feed from the high post perimeter area, and on the drive back to the other end, Phillips misses on the layup attempt, and a good strong rebound for Mars, who has it poked away from behind. Turnover for Mars leads to a shot for the Jackets. They still can't connect off the miss from Moore, and Parker will track down the long rebound. Say, let's slow things up here a little bit. 65 seconds to play, opening quarter. Senators up 11-9. Mars with it, right side, deep 3, right in front of the coaches for Mitchell. That one off the mark, no good. Rebound cleared out by Cameron Blackwell. He'll feed ahead quickly in the front court to Moore. He'll slow it up now and send it back out to Pritchett at the center circle. Pritchett, deliberate. Now start to pound the rock a little bit. Coming up on 40 seconds to play. They'll go into a quick set here, trying to get a guy cutting off the baseline. Don't find anybody, so they'll continue into their motion set. Ball poked away. Senators force turnover number 5 here in the opening quarter, and they'll try to hold for 1 with 25 seconds to play. Holden will dribble handoff. They'll go a little 4-corner spread here with the little 3-man weave out top. Holden to Zink. And bring it back now to the center court and try to leave it off for Parker. And Coach Bowsman pleading for a whistle. He's not going to get one here. 7 seconds to go. Crossover, spin move. Zink in the paint. Dipsy 2 off the window for 2. And Zink with the basket to end the quarter. Three-quarter court heave off the mark, no good for Pritchett from nearly half court, more so than three-quarter court, but that's the way the cookie will crumble after the first quarter of play. Senators lead at 13-9 after the first stop. We'll come back with second quarter action right after this word from one of our sponsors.
We're here at McDonald's Gymnasium for tonight's game. It's time to introduce the starting lineup. And the crowd is on their feet and they're going wild. And here comes the new players. We've got the quarter pounders coming in tonight alongside the chicken classic sandwiches. Playing forward tonight, we have got one-of-a-kind McWrap. Guarding your hunger, it looks like we've got McDouble and McChicken coming in. And starting in the center court tonight will be Big Mac. Look on the sideline, folks. We have Chicken McNuggets cheering tonight alongside those golden delicious fries. Hot and always ready. You'll score points every time you bring the family into Salem McDonald's, right here on Main Street, before or after the game. Don't forget to top off your favorite meal with a cold soft drink, that famous Mickey D sweet tea, or something from their full line of smoothies and McCafe coffee drinks. Order inside to 11, or get that one-of-a-kind taste 24 hours at the drive-thru. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Second quarter now underway. West Washington opens with the basketball, and right away they go in the low post. Jake Strange, the 6'4 freshman, checked in at the break, as well as 5'10 junior guard Mikey Nichols, and to the other end, it's Jarrett Bear Phillips, the 6'1 sophomore, imposing his will again in the paint as he gets another one to fall. That's 8 of the team's 13 here early. He opens up the scoring in the second period with a possible and one. And the Senators pick up foul number 2 on the night, as this one will go against Mikey Nichols, fresh into the ball game. And Bear Phillips able to finish at the free throw line. So both teams with an and one opportunity here early. 13-12 your score. Misspoke a while ago. He has now 9 of their 12, not 13. But Senators with a 1-point advantage despite the turnover. 4 giveaways for West Washington, 5 for the Jackets.
Starting out 0 for 2. We've missed a couple bunnies here, so we got to do something defensively.
Back to the other end.
Somebody's got to guard him.
Guess who? It's Jarrett Phillips with 2 more, 5 already in the period, and we're not even a minute in, just 45 seconds in. And we've got our second lead change of the night as Mitchell's reclaimed the lead at 14-13 underneath. Jake Strange goes up strong. He's got his first 2 off the bench for Coach Smith. We'll see Nick Mars back in at the next dead ball opportunity. Pritchett drives baseline on the kick out. Blackwell, 3, got it to go. Cameron Blackwell with 2 triples in the first half. And the Senators and Jackets starting to trade some baskets. 3 lead changes already in the period. It's a 30-second timeout this time for Coach Smith, and now he's going to chew on his men a little bit defensively, but deservedly so, Coach.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're letting Phillips do whatever he wants. I mean, at some point, like his first bucket of this quarter, he gets a defensive rebound, takes it all the way coast to coast, and it wasn't even a break, wasn't even a long rebound. He got the rebound on the block, dribbled all the way, and got a layup at the end. Somebody's got to stop ball.
So the Senators rolling with Strange, Nichols, Mars, Bousman, and Green. So 3 freshmen, the future faces of the Senator program. Get used to hearing those names quite a bit, the big 3 for this freshman group, as well as the junior Nichols and again the senior Nick Mars. And it's back to a 1-3-1 look as Pritchett will come out top and try to hound the 2 freshmen, Green and Bousman. Nichols slides it cross court. Bousman 3, in and out, no good. Rebound fought for across the way. And coming out of there with it was Cameron Blackwell. Into the ball game for his first minutes of the night, Tyson James, a 6'1 junior for Coach Doug Thomas and the Jackets. Go to Phillips. He'll pull up. Jumper, 17-footer's good straight away above the free throw line in the face of 6'4 Jake Strange. And Phillips right now just owning this Senator team as he is tearing it up. He has 13 of the team's 19 underneath. Green with the miss. Bausman with the rebound. Flips it back out to Green, and they'll slow it up. Holden right back to Parker again. Two-man game, a pitch and catch on the right side. Holden will look back and get some direction from Coach Smith. 5:47 and counting second quarter, 19-15. No team has led by more than 4 to this juncture. Senators are going to turn it over and then get it right back. And Bausman loses the handle. Third turnover of the quarter already for the Senators. And now we're going to have a whistle and a foul off the miss finally by Phillips. And on the rebounding foul, this will be number 11, Tyson James, picking up his first of the night. Team foul number 4. Jake Strange checks out of the ball game. Harrison Sanford back in. So Sanford up there with Mars in the front court. Still a 3-guard look with Bausman, Green, and Nichols.
This seems like
pressure.
a pretty big stretch for the Senators. They're really struggling right now to start the second quarter. What are they? I think they, what is it, 11-2 right now? Something like that. It's 11-2, 11-3 run.
Reverse layup will not go for Mars. Probably not the shot we wanted on that attempt. Back to the other end. Phillips, wild shot. Got another one to go. Phillips already with 9 points in this quarter. 15 of the team's 21 in this half. He's one of the team's 2 leading scorers at 12 points per contest. Largest lead of the night for the Jackets at 6, 21-15. As Nichols holds out front, he'll get a call from Coach Smith. And the Senators will set the offense in motion. Parker will dribble out of trouble in the corner. Go in, little runner with the hook, won't go, and we'll have a rebounding foul, and this one will go against the Jackets. Team foul number 5, whistled against the home team. And this one again on Tyson James. So right off the bench, 2 quick personals, and that will prompt another substitution. Leighton Allen, a 5'9" junior, will check in for his first minutes of the night. And Spell James, who picks up the 2 personals. 4:41 to play. Underneath, Senators get the inbounds pass in on the ball side block to Harrison, who misses another bunny, and the Senators' shooting woes continue.
Yeah, we're struggling. We have a lot of bunnies. I don't know if we're struggling to play through contact or expecting it, but we're struggling around the rim.
Pritchett with a rare take to the hoop. He'll be fouled. I think they're going to get this one on the floor as Holden reached in to try to stop dribble penetration and swipe it away. He'll pick up his first. Team foul number 3. Pritchett will check out. Also checking out is Braxton Barrett. Fresh into the ball game, Edric Cash, number 35, a 5'11" sophomore. Nice speed ahead, and finally the drought stops as Harrison Sanford scores his first 2 of the period. Back to the other end. Shot will be off the mark, off the top of the backboard by Phillips, and the Senators will reset.
That was a good look ahead by Mikey. Mikey got the steal last defensive possession on a little poke away. I couldn't see if it was Mars or somebody or Sanford. Nice look ahead up to Sanford.
But a much-needed basket.
Absolutely.
As Coach said, that broke a 12-2 scoring run to open the period for the Jackets as the ball was deflected right into the face of Leighton Allen across the way. Maybe got a little nose job over there.
But, I mean, you have to know where you're going to throw it before you throw it. Because I mean, you threw it right off of him. We got fortunate on that one.
Nichols resets the offense out top. Little matchup 2-3. Again, we've seen a hodgepodge of defenses here already for the Jackets. Nice feed cross court from Mars to Bausman. He'll dribble back out of trouble and be picked up quickly by Moore, forced to give it up to Nichols. He tries to split a double team, kicks out to Holden. He'll pull up, long jumper. It's off the mark, no good. Rebound comes down to Leighton Allen. One of the smallest guys on the floor right now at 5'9". And the Jackets back in control at the offensive end, leading at 21-17. High screen out front by Edric Cash. Looking to release some help, and this is going to be last touch by Cameron Blackwell. An unforced error. That's their 7th turnover of the half on the over and back. Senators have committed 6 turnovers to this point. 3:15 to go, first half of play.
And as poorly as we played in this second stanza here, I mean, we score here. It's still, it's just a 1-possession ball game. So get a good shot, work the offense, get a good shot, and you're fine.
Zink controls left side. And you can see some frustration on Coach Smith's face.
Or I guess that should as poorly as we've shot. I don't know if we're playing poorly. We just have shot poorly.
Just can't get anything to go inside the arc, it seems like. Spread the floor now. Little 5 out. Pull-up jumper won't go for Nichols, but skying for the offensive board is Sanford. 3-ball on the way for Bousman. No good. Dad's yelling out legs behind me. He definitely didn't rise and fire on that one. A little tired maybe here early. Got a double dribble by Blackwell. The call by Zaire. Turnover number 8 for the Jackets. Back into the ball game will be Cade Pritchett and Braxton Barrett. Edric Cash will check out, as well as Leighton Allen, who got the facial a while ago on the far side. 2.5 to play. First half, 21-17. Senators still down 4. We've had 2 ties and 4 lead changes to this point. 3 of those 4 lead changes coming early here in the period. Senators break pressure. Sanford in the corner to Bousman. Almost a no-look pass out to Zink. To Abels into the ball game. His 3 way off the mark. And another offensive board for Harrison Sanford. Thrown off the leg of Pritchard. Will stay here with 2:10 to play as Abels is checked in for his first minutes of the night. Abels, 5'7" junior at 2.5 per game, and we'll also see Jake Strange back in. 6'4" freshman, 3.7 points per game and 2.5 boards. He'll spell Mars, so it'll be Zink out there with Sanford and Jake Strange. Abels and Bousman in the backcourt with Zink. And on the rollback,
nice
wide
find.
open. Nice feed to Jake Strange as he lays it over the front edge, and Jake's got 4 all in this period, and it's back to a 2-point game at 21-19. 2-minute warning.
We talk a lot about finishing halves. 2 or 3 minutes left to go. Let's make sure we dig down and finish this half off strong.
Moore tries to feed in the post to Phillips, poked away. Turnover number 9, and Abel's trying to feed into the front court, throws it away. And this will be turnover number 7 of the half for West Washington as he will get after Abels. Coach Smith not very happy with that decision on the break. A good opportunity there to try to tie things back up as the Jackets come back into the front court. Pritchett controls, sends it now left side to Moore. Back to Phillips. He'll drive in. Block shot on the weak side help.
I think they may get
coming
Jake
from
here.
Jake, and they may get him. Nope, they're going to get Holden. And so that'll be 2 on Holden. And Papa Bear does not agree with that one behind us.
That's a big call for your point guard to pick one up there when, honestly, I thought it was Jake, but he had a better angle than I did, I guess.
Minute 35 to play in this first half. Phillips to the line, now 2 of 2 on the night. He'll get 1 more. Holden will check out with the 2 personals. And a disgusted grimace on his face as he sets down, knowing that that was a little nickel dimer, and that'll prompt Parker Green to come back in. Phillips back to the free throw line. Mitchell, a 68% team from the line. That one rims in and out right on cue. And Harrison with another rebound. Zink walks it now across the timeline, faces the trap. 1-3-1 again for the Jackets. Out top, Abels gives it off to Sanford. No look pass to Zink. 3 in and out, no good. Fighting for the rebound was Strange. Ball was poked away. Moore to the other end. He hasn't poked away. Turnover number 10 already for the Jackets. So good news for West Washington. Although they may have 7 turnovers in this first half, Mitchell just as generous in giving it right back. 60 seconds to play in the opening half. 22-19, Senators with a chance to at best tie it, or possibly on the rare 4-point play opportunity, sees a lead. Abels has it out front, looks to go dribble drive against Blackwell, or bring it back out top and leave it off to the senior Zink. Zink picked up and hounded by Pritchett to Green, right back to Abels. Let's see if the Senators hold for 1. Sanford has it in the corner, no man's land against Phillips. They'll clear it out. He had plenty of space, decided not to take. And the ball's going to be poked away. Zink loses the handle right into the hands of Pritchett, and that's going to lead to a layup at the other end for Blackwell, who now has 8 in the contest. And it's a 24-19 advantage, 5-point lead. Harrison spin move, it won't go for him on the block. Zink, he'll step through a double team and be fouled from behind. Mitchell fans wanted a clean block. Craig Bechtel says, I don't think so. And it'll result in another Mitchell foul, and this one will go against Cameron Blackwell, so he'll pick up his second. That's team foul number 6 with 4.8 to go in the half. Zink to the free throw line. The senior, 7 of 14 on the year for 50%. And that one will not go.
Off the back iron.
That's
Zink's
free throw
that
troubles
nickel
continue.
dimer that they called on Holden. I mean, it comes back where we're trying to hold for a last shot.
Yep.
And now our point guard's on the bench, and we turn it over, and they get a layup. And then we
Zink
miss 2.
misses both of them, 0 for 2. And pushing to the other end, Phillips with a little shoulder shrug, tries a 3-ball from just inside a half court. And the first half will come to a close here at Mitchell. It's been a pretty good one thus far. Not a lot to say as far as shooting percentage, though, as the Senators will trail it 24-19 at the halftime break. Coach Gibson and I will step aside. We'll start figuring up our first half numbers, and we'll come back to begin our Senator halftime report, brought to you by Eddie Olstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem. Back with that halftime report right after this.
Yeah, hello, police. Yeah, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Welcome back inside the Hive. Mitchell High School. Senators trail at 24-19 here at the halftime break. 2 guys doing all the damage for the Blue Jackets and Coach Doug Thomas here in this first half as we run down our individual scoring totals. Of course, Jarrett Bear Phillips, the 6'1 sophomore, getting it done, putting a major dent or 2 into the Senators defensively, especially in the half court. He has owned West Washington, 16 points already through 16 minutes of play. That's a pretty good point-to-minute ratio, Coach. He also went 2 of 3 from the charity stripe in that first half of play. Cameron Blackwell, the 5'9 senior guard, averages 10 a game. He's almost there. He's got 8 in the first half, courtesy of a couple of big triples from downtown and a 2-point basket. So 16 from Phillips and 8 from Blackwell. Just 2 guys getting into the scoring act. Caden Pritchett, Peyton Moore, and Braxton Barrett started, did not tally. We also see Tyson James, Edric Cash, and Leighton Allen play off the bench, but they were unable to tally, of course, as well. 2 guys get it done and give the Jackets the 5-point cushion here at the half. Mitchell 2 of 3 from the free throw line for 67%. They give it away 10 times, 5 in each quarter in that first half of play. Meanwhile, for West Washington, at the half. They got a little bit better balance. Harrison Sanford leads the way. He's got 9 points here at the halftime break, including 1 of 1 from the free throw line. 2 for Holden Bousman, 2 for Camden Zink, and 2 for Parker Green. Nick Marr started but did not score. Jake Strange, Mikey Nichols, and Caden Abels all play off of the bench for Coach Sean Smith. Jake Strange, the only one that's able to tally with 4 points here at the halftime break. Senators go just 1 of 3 from the free throw line for 33%. Thank goodness that major drumming is over. It's pounding my eardrums. 8 giveaways for West Washington in that first half of play. 5 of the 8 coming in the second quarter. After the first quarter stop, it was 13-9. Senators led it by 4, but then it's a 15-6 period in that second frame that propels the Jackets into the 5-point cushion here on homecoming night at the Hive. They lead at 24-19 here at the break. We'll step aside, get another word in from another sponsor, and we'll come back. Coach Gibson will run down the team statistics from the first 16 minutes of play. You're listening to Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220. Back with more in just a moment.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Back at the Hive here in Mitchell, Indiana. Mitchell High School, where the Blue Jackets own a 24-19 lead over your Senators. A couple of shooting stats here, and I think it comes down to that. I mean, it basically, you know, we've played even or outplayed the Jackets, except for shooting. How many times have we said that this year? We're just not shooting well. Senators shoot 9 of 25 inside the arc for 36%. 0 for 7 behind the arc for a big old goose egg. 1 for 3 from the line, 33%. All of those, I mean, inside the arc, I mean, you're talking about layups, 10-footers. You should be right around 50%. We're shooting 36. So basically, we're 9 of 32 in the first half, or 28%. You look on the other side, Mitchell's 8 for 12 for 67% inside the arc, 2 of 6 from beyond for 33. They shot 56% overall. So, I mean, it goes right there. And even free throws, they're 2 of 3 for 67. We're 1 of 3 for 33. You know, they shot 56% in the first half. The Senators shoot 28%. I mean, that's all you have to look at. I mean, at times, you got to put the ball in the bucket, man. The Senators don't do that at times.
2:26 to go, and the Senators still not out on the floor, getting some further instruction from Coach Sean Smith. Mitchell is back on the floor as we roll up toward the 2-minute warning here to go at the half. And the Senators, like I said, a long way to go still in this one, but the shooting's got to improve, and it's not that it's bad shot selection, because we talked about it in the pregame. We were going to have to get high percentage shots and get several of them early, and I really felt like we did outside of that 1 3-pointer for Parker early. Everything else was coming basically within the paint. Just couldn't get good angles or good looks to fall, or we would have an opportunity, like I said, just be kind of out of position a little bit or not have the good angle at the basket that we probably wanted.
You're right. I mean, we had 25 shots to their 12. We doubled their shots. Fortunately for us, I mean, they've turned it over 6 or 7 times, you know, but we've gotten double the shots. We just can't put them in. And most of them, like I said, have been good shots. There's been some times where we've taken some kind of off-balance layups, or we're thinking maybe we're going to get some contact. But, I mean, we just have to shoot better. Rebounding-wise, we're leading the rebounding 16-13, 8 of those offensive, probably 3 or 4 on that one possession. We still couldn't put it in. I mean, everything else, we're fine. Effort's good. We just got to put it in.
Senators back out on the floor. They're taking a pass on any shots taken here to warm up for the second half. I'm sure that was an unpleasant halftime talk. Coaches back out on the floor. Let's take a quick break here from Meadowview. We'll come back with third quarter action right after this.
At Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Come back once again inside the gymnasium here at Mitchell High School. We're ready to get things rolling in this second half of play. It'll be Mitchell basketball across the way as Braxton Barrett sends it into the backcourt to the senior, Cade Pritchett. He'll leave it off out top. 4 more to Blackwell. Backdoor lob and a nice set play for the Jackets out of the halftime break as Moore is finally the first guy other than Blackwell or Phillips to score the rock. 26-19, and the Jackets open up their largest lead of the night at 7 to start the third quarter. Senators start the period with Zink, Sanford, Mars, who just scored, Bowsman and Green, so the original 5 for Coach Smith to start the quarter. And Mars finally off the scoreless drought to start the third quarter.
That's a really good answer. I mean, if things could have got, they were in a set play at the beginning, and then, and that just unfortunate. It looked like Harrison was going to get the steal from behind, and then it just lands in Barrett's arms, and he just puts the bunny up.
So how about that? 2 guys do all the damage for the Jackets in the first half as the Senators turn over for the first time of the half. Blackwell has it. And after just 2 guys scoring, 2 fresh faces get into the act as Barrett gets a basket, as well as Moore off the backdoor lob to start the half. Moore now step back Jay. He won't go right elbow. Parker Green with the rebound. He'll push down in front of us into the front court. Left baseline to Sanford. Backs out to Bowsman. He'll go in. Little one-hand floater. Nice touch for Bowsman. He's got 4. And it's 28.
Pritchett was looking for the leak out and threw it away. So, again, another chance for the Senators to come down, get a good shot to edge a little bit closer.
Zink will check out. Nichols back in, so junior for senior on the exchange for Coach Smith. 28-23 off the basket by Bowsman. Turnover was the 11th of the game now for Mitchell. Again, in that first half, we had 2 ties and 4 lead changes, and West Washington will give it right back.
It's frustrating. All he did, he just dropped the ball. Mikey, we're facing a little pressure. He takes his eyes off the ball to look at the press, and he drops it on the sideline.
Blackwell will throw it to the backcourt. As Pritchett walks it across, he's picked up now and hounded by Nichols. Moore into the high post, right back to Pritchett. Little slip screen, nothing from it as he gives it to Blackwell, and he'll try to dribble drive against the freshman, Holden Bowsman. Bowsman cuts him off, forces it back out top. Phillips picked up by Parker Green. Partial block for Parker, and now Nichols will lead the break for West Washington. Green to Bowsman, thought about 3, kicks it out. And again to Nichols, and Bowsman gets it right back on the wing. 2-man game, a pitch and catch, 5:47 and counting third quarter, 28-23 out of the halftime break. Senators trailing by 5, and Mars answers again right side. Nice look just off the block on the baseline. Mars now has 4 all in this period, and it's back to a 1-possession ball game at 28-25. Phillips.
Another block by Parker.
Parker stuffed him 2 times in a row. And Parker now stepping up the defensive game as Bear Phillips forced to chew on the Wilson leather a little bit on the last 2 trips. 3-point game, Green controls, goes low block, this time left side to Mars, kicks out to Sanford to Nichols. Nichols tries to feed underneath, finds Mars, who goes cross court to Green, to Sanford, back to Green. Thought about 3, pump fake, steps in, jumper, in and out, no good. Rebound fought for, and Cameron Blackwell comes out of there with it.
That's still a good shot.
Left side.
Nice pump fake. It just didn't drop.
And they'll slow it up now to Moore in the front court. Swinging around the perimeter, back to Pritchett, out top now to Barrett. He'll take a rare deep three. That one off the mark, no good. And with his length, Pritchett able to get the offensive rebound. He misses, and rebound to be last touched by Sanford. And Coach Smith screams out to a sophomore big, we got to get that rebound. Get your hands on it, young fella. 4:36 to go here in the period. Pritchett to inbound. He gets it into Phillips. He'll work against Green, who's blocked him 2 times in a row. He'll turn and face. They'll try to throw underneath, and Phillips will throw it away on the feed to Barrett into the hands of Nichols. Turnover number 12 for the Blue Jackets. Back in the front court, Gamble won't work for Phillips as Harrison will look for an outlet. Nowhere to go. 5 count was on. Parker will be trapped and gives it right back to Harrison. He drives left side. Tried to feed through the double team, and he throws it away.
Holden comes right back with another steal.
Back-to-back turnovers into the other end. To the other side of the floor, it'll be Mars on the take. So Holden with the quick hands gets it right back. Just 3 turnovers, bang, bang, bang. And that will send the senior big man, Nick Mars, to the free throw line on the year, 20 at 28 for 71%. Halfway point, third quarter. Senators can cut it to 1 as Mars knocks down the first. He's got 5 of the team's 7 points out of the halftime break. So maybe the senior challenged a little bit in the locker room by Coach Smith. Second free throw on the way. It rattles home and is good. So he's got 6 of the team's 8 now. It's a 1-point game at 28-27 halfway through the third. Out top, Pritchett tried to take a high screen from Phillips. He'll offer another one, this time to Blackwell. They give it off to Moore, goes behind the back to Blackwell. His 3 off the mark. Barrett with the rebound. He'll try to impose his will against Mars, backs him down. Turnaround jumper won't go. And the rebound fought for, loose ball on the floor, and it'll be the last touched by Moore in the Jackets. So it'll go to West Washington with a great opportunity. And you got a couple of guys exchanging shoves. And Mike Braun will have to separate Peyton Moore, the junior, and 6'2" sophomore Harrison Sanford, and both coaches will wisely pull them off, let both of them collect their cool a little bit as Jake Strange will check into the ball game.
Statting it up. I didn't see any of that, so I don't know.
Little friendly fire, a little shove here and there, and they'll quickly separate. This is a veteran crew we have tonight here at the Hive as Zink drives left side, cut off with no real estate left. He'll skip it now, back out to Bousman, to Green on the quick pass on the low block. Nice turn, using the glass, and with a little kiss off the window, Jake Strange has his 6th point, and just like that, Coach, Senators have stormed back to take the lead once more. Our 5th lead change, 29-28. Tough pull-up Jay, and it will not go from the free throw line for Blackwell. Bousman, he'll push in transition. He's a dangerous gunslinger at that. Lays it for Green. In and out, no good on the 3. Big offensive rebound for Mars. He gets fouled on the putback. And the Senator faithful, good attendance tonight for Senator Nation to our immediate left, and they have now come to life as well. That's going to prompt a timeout from Doug Thomas and the Jackets with 2:50 to play in the third, and we'll have a free throw attempt coming up for Mars.
Nick has really played, I mean, he has really been aggressive this half. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think Coach Smith in that locker room said, hey, that second quarter, I mean, was nonsense. We have to have better fight, better grit than that. So it's like it was utter ridiculousness. But Nick, man, he has come to play in this third quarter. And one of the points I'm just doing all the season stats, we've really struggled with second half turnovers. I don't know where we're at right now in the third quarter,
11.
but just in the second half, just this quarter, three. I mean, you can live with 3 probably. So that at least they've been keeping control of the ball a little bit.
So the Senators in the midst of a nice run right now. 2:50 to go coming out of this timeout for Coach Doug Thomas and his Jackets. It's a full timeout at the 2:50 mark, and the Senators with a chance to extend their lead, a slim one at that, 29-28. Mitchell comes back out onto the floor, and it'll send the senior again, Nick Mars, back to the free throw line. He hit both of them earlier on his only attempts of the night. Again, the Senators just 1 of 3 at the half, and perhaps challenged a little bit in that locker room. The senior stepping up, rising to the challenge He's got 6. And that one a little long and off the mark. Senators again, though, have stormed back to take a 29-28 advantage. It's a 10-4 run right now for West Washington. And the second one's good, so making an 11-4 run for Senator Nation. As Mars now 3 of 4 on the night, 7 points all in this period. 30-28 to the other end. Pritchett out of control. And the Senators take another charge, and guess who? The big man, Jake Strange, who's taken a couple already this season, Coach.
Yeah, he's doing a really nice job here in the last few weeks of staying under control, staying on the ground. Earlier in the season, he would have jumped up and tried to block that shot.
That's Pritchett's first foul of the night, but it's also player control and a turnover, lost possession, their 4th turnover of the half. And Bousman controls right side, goes right back to Marsh, turns on Phillips, has it swatted away into the hands of Blackwell. He'll lead a 2-on-4 break, no numbers. Tyson James smartly pulls it out to Pritchett, to Blackwell, 3, right side, it won't go. Jake Strange had it in his hands, and it ping-ponged off the palm. 2:15 to play in the third. But the Senators back in control here on the road, 30-28.
Blackwell's got the only 2 3-pointers of the night, and Cam did a nice job of closing out and getting his hand up on that one.
On the little dive to the block, they couldn't get Blackwell, so they kick out to Phillips. And he'll dribble it out against Green. Parker perhaps challenged as well. He's got 2 big blocks on Phillips, who had 16 in the first half. He's scoreless thus far here in the third. And Tyson James will be whistled for the travel out front. That's now 5 giveaways in the quarter already, Coach, and 15 in the game for the Jackets.
It's we're playing nice defense, team defense. Phillips was getting whatever he wanted in the first half, but you've seen some guys, and maybe that was it. Maybe Parker and Nick were supposed to be keeping him under wraps, and they didn't.
Nice feed from Zink to Morris, kill it in one. Nice feed, trying to break some trapping pressure out front. It started with the heads-up look from Bousman to Zink.
Yeah,
He was
that's the
able
hockey
to feed
assist.
Mars.
That was the old, they don't give those in basketball, but he definitely would have got the hockey assist on that one.
It was Phillips who owned the paint between these two teams in the first half, and the senior Mars has said, I don't think so, young fella. He answers with an old-fashioned 3-point play, and the Senators now own their largest lead of the night at 33-28, minute 44 and counting in the third. Zink with the poke away against Pritchett. He thought he got fouled. Zaire says it'll stay here. Last touch by Zink.
Yeah, with 1:42 to go, I mean, and we talk about it, and it's cliche, but you have to finish the quarters. Just like, college, they say finish the half, finish the half. In high school, well, you got to finish the quarters.
Pritchett now worked the dribble against Zink. Blackwell able to lose hold on the back cut, and another and one opportunity, this time for the Jackets. Nice backdoor cut. Blackwell caught Bousman peeking at Pritchett off of the dribble. And now it'll be Blackwell to the line for his first time tonight. He's right on his season average. He's got 10, looking for 11.
Yeah, Holden was gambling and trying to get the steal on that one and got beat back door.
Which in his defense, he's very good at coming with that help side
heady.
poke away.
Yeah, he's heady.
Senators dodge a bullet there as Blackwell misses on the three-point play opportunity with the long free throw attempt. Jake Strange has it, feeds high post to Zink. They're looking at Mars, weak side, they can't get it.
That's a foul!
And Blackwell now all over Bousman, bumping him off his block, holding with the runner, it won't go. Tried to tip it into the corner and right into the hands of Bear Phillips, now leading the break. Tyson James off glass, he misses his shot, and now Parker Green comes out with it, and they're gonna get James for his third.
Got him! Nail it!
And now a technical. Tyson James picks up the personal.
Well, is
Coach
it on
Thomas.
him or the coach? Thomas was.
I don't know.
He got the push.
Well, it said technical on wide 11.
I think you're right.
Coach Doug Thomas not very happy right now with his junior who's going to check out. And now it'll be Mike Braun. It explains it. Doug Thomas very fired up at his junior. Wasn't sure what was said, but you could see him kind of pop back around to Mike Braun. And Doug Thomas now will walk to the other end. And that will be back-to-back personals. That technical goes as a personal. So Senators one away actually here at the high. Believe it or not, it's a 6-1 foul count. Mars hit the first, misses the second on the technical free throws.
will maintain possession.
So he gets one of two. It's 34-30, Senator basketball coming out of the break. A timeout on the floor, though, whistled here at the 56.5 mark, 56 and a half to go. And it's a full timeout for Coach Doug Thomas as we're under a minute to play here in the third. Let's step aside, take a quick break, and hear a word from Salem Crossing, and we'll come back with the rest of the third quarter right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Senators put 15 points in this third period of play, 11 of them coming from the senior Nick Mars as he has seized control of this ball game here in the third, and he's propelled the Senators to a 34-30 advantage. Senators with the ball out of the timeout, and that possession coming off of the back end of the technical possession after the two free throws. Parker Green had it poked away for a moment, gathered it back in and hit the jumper just inside the right elbow. Parker's got his second field goal of the night, back to a 6-point lead. 36-30, actually the largest of the night for West Washington. Half minute to play. Pritchett, right side to Blackwell out top, picked up by Bausman. They'll try to lose him on a screen from Barrett. Kick out, back out top. Luke Lefevre back into the ball game, or in for his first minutes of the night, rather. Thought it was late and Allen for just a moment. So 5'9" sophomore in for his first minutes in crunch time here. Three ball on the way for Phillips. Rims in and out, no good. Zink with the rebound, gotta go. 7-6, 5, 4, 3. Bausman rises, fires, free throw line. Bang, baby! Woo! String music for the freshman from the volleyball spike line. Oh my. Words can't express what kind of rainbow he threw up. It was a teardrop dagger. 39-30 to end the third quarter. What a big three for Bausman, and what a finish to this third period. Coach was talking about it. Got to finish the quarter, and the Senators do just that. They'll take a 9-point edge into the fourth quarter of play. We'll come back with more right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks.
We have 5 kids, and somehow their hands and feet are always on the wall. So I went to Molly at Ace. I told Sharon when it comes to durable paint, you can't do better than Valspar Optimus.
Ace is the place that knows a lot about paint, but not why kids drag their hands on walls when they walk.
Before your next project, talk to your local paint experts, Eva Marie and Erica at Ace Hardware of Salem, about our top-rated interior and exterior paints.
Holden Bausman puts the exclamation point on a 20-point quarter for West Washington as they'll open up with the basketball. Bausman underneath, drops the diamond into the piggy bank. Goes the freshman big man, Jake Strange. Holden dropping dimes after dropping the teardrop from beyond the volleyball spike line to end the third. He'll do more damage with the big assist to Strange. And Strange now has 8 on the night to open up scoring here in the fourth. And he finishes the old-fashioned three-point play. Jake just a 38% free throw shooter. And Coach, Senators are straight rolling. 20 seconds into this fourth quarter of play. It is now a 42-30 advantage, and underneath the Senator foul to kind of break momentum. But wow, what a finish to the quarter and start to the fourth.
I'm listening to the conversation back here. Beth Bausman is getting on to Philip. about, somebody must have texted her about being able to hear Philip on the radio.
We never hear Coach Bausman on the radio, ever. So whoever's sending her those texts, they've got to be mistaken. Underneath on the inbounds attempt, Phillips will be fouled. He missed the shot. 42-30, a 12-point advantage, largest lead of the night. Foul will go against Parker Green, but I tell you what, that's only his second. He's been tremendous in the second half,
really
especially
has.
defensively on Phillips.
You're right.
Phillips scoreless to this point after 16 in the first half.
We let him get to the rack all half long in the first half. Nobody was contesting him, but, in the second half we've done a lot better.
7:34 mark of the fourth quarter.
There's all kinds of time. We're up by 11, but that doesn't mean anything with 7.5. You got to play smart. You got to play hard.
Both free throws good by Phillips. Again, his first point since the waning moments of the second quarter. 42-32, half minute into the fourth. Mars will bring it up against pressure, get it into the front court, stops, leaves it off for Green. To Zink, cross court, right side, pull up jumper, rise and fire, young man. Bottom of the barrel for Zink. Long 2-point jumper will go. That's his fourth point of the night. Senators back up by 12 at 44-32.
That's a nice, confident shot. Sometimes I think maybe that's what we're missing, just the confidence.
Phillips will miss the three. Bausman with the strong rebound. He'll push in transition, wants to sling it one arm, and he does. Underneath, and Mars has it blocked from behind by Phillips. Blackwell to the other end. Off to Phillips. He'll back down in the post, and he'll be met by Strange, Green, and Mars, and somehow he finishes as he gives Mars a little shove in the hip. That's his first field goal of the half, and it's 44-34. We'll see Harrison Sanford check back in, next dead ball, and we'll have a reach from behind. This one will be on Blackwell, and this will be team foul number 7, so let's walk to the other end. And the Senators getting a little sweet cooking from this veteran crew here, but they are definitely the aggressor, coach.
They're definitely being very physical. I think that was part of their game plan. And as they've missed several too. They've let Mitchell be very physical. So I don't see any discrepancies or anything. They're being more aggressive defensively than what we are.
That's actually team foul number 8, coach, and the third whistled against the senior Blackwell. Parker Green to the free throw line. That one way short. Harrison Sanford offensive rebound. Couldn't get the putback, but he'll be fouled by Barrett. Team foul number 9. Barrett picks up his second. That'll bring Edric Cash, the 5'11 sophomore, off the bench as Parker misses the front end of the bonus. And now Harrison to the line for 2. Parker on the year a 70% free throw shooter, missed that one. Harrison now to the line, a 53% shooter. Again, this Senator team struggles, just 60% on the year. Now that Mitchell Cheerblock, who's been quiet most of the night, giving it to Harrison, telling him he's wide open, and he'll say, "You know what? You're right. I'll sink the second one." Makes it 45-34. Minute and a half gone by here in the fourth. Senators looking for a huge road win against an experienced Mitchell team here in conference play as Blackwell gets to the rack.
It's going to be Holden's third.
So Bausman picks up his third personal. This will be team foul number 3. And coach will continue to coach up Mike Braun and company as Blackwell goes to the free throw line. Blackwell again averages around 10 a game. He's got 11 now in the contest with that first make. And the second one rattles home as well. They get 45-36, back to a single-digit lead. Coach Smith trying to go 3-1 against the Jackets as Holden's hounded out front. It'll be a timeout for Coach Smith, a full timeout with 6:20 to play in regulation, a 45-36 advantage. And again, we didn't get time to cover this, so we'll keep it here during the timeout. Mitchell does lead the overall series over the last 30 seasons, 18-14 advantage. Coach Smith, though, again looking to go 3-1 against the Jackets in his time in the Berg. Last 10 meetings have been a 5-5 split, and last year, of course, it was a rout in the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium back on January 20th of 2017. Senators walloped the Blue Jackets, swatted them away, and sent them packing 87-60. Senators got all 5 starters in double figures. Got 24 from Mikey Sizemore, 18 from Hunter Sanford, 17 for P-Dub Walker. JB Jackson Burton with 13 and Noah Green with 12 to pace the attack. And by the way, Senators in that game last year, how about this, Coach? 22 of 24 from the line for 91%, not too shabby.
That is awesome. And I think we're 8 for 14 so right now, so we could use some of that free throw magic here tonight if we want to hold on to this 9-point lead.
6:20 to play. Coach Smith burns the full timeout to save his freshman who was trapped right in front of the coaching staff, Coach Sullivan and Coach Myers at the end of the bench. They'll go to Mars.
Nice play
and
out
Cash
of the
with
timeout.
The gamble. And Mars continues his second half surge with another basket, 47-36. 2 minutes gone by here in the fourth. And Phillips will try to muscle his way in, gives it off to Pritchett, dribble drive, now out to Blackwell, 3, corner, rattled it home. Blackwell now with 5 in the period, give him 7.5 and 15 overall. It is a 47-39 score with 5:57 to go and a 30-second timeout. Last one used up on the 32nd round for Coach Doug Thomas, and now they're going to change it.
Yeah, I think he changed it to
Going to change it to a full instead with 5:57. So I tell you what, let's step aside, get a word in from a sponsor, and we'll come back right after this.
This is Kelly, and this is my Walmart. This is Kate, and this is my Walmart.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
Full court man-to-man pressure for the Jackets out of the timeout. It'll be a held ball. Holden was tied up in the double team, and possession arrow will favor the Jackets. So 5:53 to go in regulation. Senators will turn it over on the jump ball situation. 47-39.
That's big right after hitting a three-pointer.
Phillips still back down and gets the double team. Cash underneath, shot partially altered, but somehow gets it to go high off the glass against Mars. And Edric Cash has his first 2 of the night, and just like that, it's a 6-point game at 47-41.
That was a quick 5.
Woo. He must have been speed counting. 5-second call, back-to-back turnovers. That's now 5.5 and 13 in the game for the Senators as they start to implode and crumble just a little bit.
Yeah, they've scored 5 straight.
Nearly losing the dribble across the way. Moore will try to kick it out to Phillips, and he does. Pritchett controls out top. Out there with Cash, and we're going to have a whistle and a foul out front. Blackwell, Pritchett, Moore, Phillips, and Cash for the Jackets. This will be team foul number 5, whistled against the Senators, and for Zeke, that'll be his second.
Bodying up right now.
Moore, high post, Phillips, he misses the jumper, rebound fought for, Cash comes out of there with it, kicks to Pritchett, 3, long off the mark, no good, rebound fought for, Green has it, leak out, Bousman, he'll lead a 2-on-1 break and then miss the layup at the other end, saw traffic coming, Cash clears the rebound, back to Moore, to the other end, he'll flip it up over the front edge, and Peyton Moore's got 4, and it's a 4-point game. Buckle those seat belts. Wild fourth quarter, and then Bousman gets smoked in the backcourt. Foul will go on Peyton Moore. He just truck sticked Holden Bousman. 4:44 to go. That'll bring some of our fans to their feet as they took exception to Holden getting knocked to the deck. 10-5 now on the foul count. Double bonus the rest of the way as that one goes on Moore again, his second. And Holden to the free throw line, just 12 attempts on the year, 8 of 12 for 67%. Cool as a cucumber, the freshman steps up, makes the first. He'll get one more. He's now got 8 on the night.
That stops was that a 7-0 run, something like 6 or 7-0 run? I think it
7.
was. We were up 11. And
Holden's second one rims in and out. Phillips with the rebound. 4:40 and counting. 48, 43. Pritchett on the back cut. This time it is Moore.
Mars with the foul. Another back cut.
Yeah, this time it was
overplaying
Harrison.
just a little bit too much.
Harrison got burned on the back cut. It'll send Moore to the line. Again, Mitchell just a 68% team from the foul stripe, although they are 4 of 5 in this half. 4:33 to go. It's a 5-point game. Moore to the free throw line. 4 points on the night. That foul goes on Mars, his first. Again, team foul number 6. First one up and good for Moore. He's got 5. Make it 48-44. Second one on the way. Good rotation. Got it to go. 6 on the night for Moore.
The press hasn't hurt us all night, and then all of a sudden, here in the fourth quarter, they ratchet up just a little bit more, and it's really giving us problems.
Green to Bousman. Bousman splits a double team into the front court. He'll get it back as he works it against Pritchett. Senior versus freshman, and back to Zink. And the Senators now will go a little four-corner spread with the 3-man weave out top, nearing the halfway point of the period. Coach Smith directing traffic, wanting his young guys to be patient in the set. Zink, he'll split 2 guys, get into the paint, throw one up wildly, and it'll be out of bounds and no whistle. So sometimes you get the bump, sometimes you do not, and that's what Coach Bousman's pleading for.
They're making a run here. They have the momentum. That's a momentum call.
Put your whistle up.
Oh, Coach Bousman.
Don't put it up. Go a little ticky-tack.
Oh, we got to get this guy a headset. 350 and counting. Pritchett,
there was no need. Honestly, it was a bad shot.
Phillips with the turnaround jumper in the mid-post. He's got 6 of his 22 in this fourth quarter. 48-47. Zink catches, and he's undercut by Cash, and Zink's down. And he is immediately holding that lower back, and now he punches the floor. He's going to end up with a broken hand if he's not careful. Zink frustrated, got undercut, and again, it's going to bring some. Coach Smith's got the ball, not wanting to give it back to Braun until he gets a word in edgewise and chews on the earlobe a little bit after that last possession where he thought Zink got fouled. He's still chewing on Braun. That foul goes on Cash, his first, team foul number 11, double bonus for Zink, who on the year is just a 50% free throw shooter, but he rattles that one home. Zink took that hard shot right at his tailbone. Immediately grabbed for it. 2-point game.
We got the lead up to 12. I think that was the largest lead. Then all of a sudden, they come right back. I think we got away from the way we were playing.
That one long off the miss. Blackwell, he leads the break, and he'll slow things up. Knew he didn't have numbers. 49-47, 3:21 and counting. Pritchett drives baseline. Wild pass, errant pass into the hands of Bousman. He'll lead it up ahead to Harrison. He stops. And now he'll be fouled and bumped. Thought they were going to whistle a travel maybe on the stop. And instead, it'll be a foul on Peyton Moore, his third. And remember back earlier, it was Moore and Sanford that got into the shoving match and had to be separated. Temper started to flare a little bit. 3:12 to go, a 49-47 ball game. But, Coach, 1 would be nice, 2's huge here from Sanford.
Right, yeah, we got to hit our free throws.
First one's up and good. He must have heard you, Coach. See if he can cash in one more. It's the second one. He'll make it a 2-possession ball game. It's 50-47, 3:12 to go. Both teams in the bonus the rest of the way home. And second one up and good as well. Harrison 3 for 4 in the fourth, 4 of 5 on the night, 51-47. Blackwell out top. Looks for the slip screen from Phillips. Now a dribble handoff to Moore. Crosses over against Harrison, rises up and hits the little jumper from 8 feet away. Moore's got 8 all in the second half to a 2-point game at 51-49. Green and Bausman work it in the backcourt, break the press easily, and Holden will go right back and get it from Mars. 2:40 and counting. Holden will dribble out of trouble. Pretty savvy for a freshman with the rock. He'll give it up to Green. It'll be another timeout for Coach Smith, a full timeout to kind of discuss things. He's got plenty left in the hip pocket. 2:35 to go. We'll step aside, take a break. We'll come back with more fourth quarter action from the Hive. You're listening to the Senators on Salem's 1220.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MetaView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Coach Smith asking for some grit and toughness out of his group during that timeout. 2:35 to play. Senators will have it down in front of us at the end of the bench. And we'll reset. Inadvertent buzzer. And now we're ready to roll. And we're going to see a little 3-2 here for the Jackets out of the timeout. Now Pritchard will come out top, start to force the issue a little bit against Bausman. The two freshmen trying to work against this senior-laden ball club in the backcourt as Bausman kicks it back out to Green. Game of pitch and catch coming up on the 2-minute warning. Going to make them run and chase here a little bit. We've got to just knock down our free throws down the stretch as Harrison gets it in the post, and he'll be fouled by Phillips on the reach from behind. And again, both teams in the bonus.
That was good.
Fouls either way.
We made nice, crisp passes there. You know, sometimes we've seen early in the year where we're trying to, melt some time off the clock where our passes just aren't, crisp enough. And that was a pretty good possession, except for the free throws.
Well, we said we had to hit free throws down the stretch. Harrison misses
we're shooting
the first.
60% from the line. They're shooting 80, and we're lucky we're up 2 here.
Harrison's second one is on the way, and it is good. So back to a 3-point game we go. 52-49, 2-minute warning. Blackwell into the front court. Left side with it. He'll back the dribble out and leave it off to Pritchett at the center circle. Picked up by Zink. Senators in the man-to-man defense as we dip under 2 to play. Blackwell picked up by Bausman, hand in his face. He'll be screened by Cash. Try to beat Bausman off the dribble and hits the little floater off the back iron. Blackwell was 7 in the quarter, now 9 in the half. 52-51. Senators clinging to the 1-point edge. In a little bit of trouble in the corner. They kick it out to Green. Dribble drive. He'll throw it out to Bausman. No need to rush anything. Holden goes in, leaves it off for Mars. He wasn't ready for it. Nick was wide open. Good look, threading the needle. And Mars fumbles it away. Turnover number 3 of the quarter. Minute 27 to go.
Hey, got a D up here. It's a great look. Just couldn't handle the pass and got a D up.
Senators got to throw the anchor in the sand here defensively.
Oh, they're clearing out for Phillips.
75 seconds or under 75 seconds to go now. 52-51. Senators up 1. Cash isolated against Green. Right side, they'll kick back out to Phillips. He'll get instruction from Coach Doug Thomas working against Mars. They may let him go one-on-one. Parker's going to offer help side. Fadeaway jumper's good for Phillips. And how about the ice water in the veins of the sophomore? Our 6th lead change. Mitchell back in front, 53-52. Senators with the ball. Bausman, and we'll have a stoppage of play. Coach Smith, woo! Right on time. timeout as Holden had it poked away. It'll be a full timeout with 43.4. And what more could you ask for after a 2-week layoff? A barn burner in the Hive.
Did a good job in the third quarter on Phillips, but he's getting going again here in the fourth. That's his 8th point in the fourth quarter. You know, somebody, and they're running some pick and roll. They're running some screens to get, I really think, to get Parker off of him. He scored at least two or three of his 3 buckets when Parker wasn't guarding him. So, you know, maybe we got to do something to dig down on him or something. I don't know, but he's having a much better fourth than he was in the third.
Tell you what, let's take a moment here during this full timeout. We won't take a complete break, but let's at least pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to the Senators and the Jackets here on Salem's 1220.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Coach Smith breaks the huddle with his team. 43.4 on the game reset. Senators trailing at 53-52. Mitchell has stormed back from a 12-point deficit at one time, 42-30. And the Senators were rolling through the end of the third and into the fourth quarter. But Mitchell storms right back here on homecoming. They got a 1-point lead. Let's see what Coach Smith has drawn up. Little 3-2 zone for the Jackets. Underneath Parker Green, wide open on the assist from Zink, like clockwork. Huge basket for the freshman. 7th lead change. Senators 54-53 lead, and then a throwaway. And it was Moore trying to feed Cash cross court down on the block. Thought he was open. Overshotting. Turnover number 7 in the half. 17 in the game for the Jackets with 24.6. And now you got to just decide whose hands do you want this ball in on the press break. And they're going to go to Mars, which isn't a bad option. And he has it poked away.
Phillips is going to get called for the grab.
I tell you what, I thought they were going to call the poke away, and now Doug Thomas will chew on Mike Braun a little bit here. This will be team foul number 13 against the Jackets in the half.
You have to hit both of these. I mean, if it's clutch, you have 1-point lead, 2 free throws, 21.2 seconds to go. You got to make this a 3-point game.
Nick is 5 of 7 on the night, and on the season, 71%. One of the best on the team, and that one rattles in and out, no good. And a timeout taken by Coach Doug Thomas. It'll be the 32nd timeout he wanted earlier, and I believe he's out now, if my count is correct. 21.2.
Makes this one huge. This is a huge free throw.
And Coach Smith will talk with Coach Sullivan and Coach Myers. Consult them just a little bit and then talk to his guys. By the way, Coach Sullivan's team dropped the heartbreaker here tonight, 49-41. And that means recess duty for Coach Clayton Sullivan. We had a little wager going on. We were supposed to switch over to a new rotation for some recess detention and recess duty, and Coach Sullivan thought he got ripped off with the snow days this week. He wanted a full week of being off and not having any recess detention or recess duty. And sorry about his luck. I told him if he wanted it to switch over, he had to get the job done tonight. JV falls 49-41. Mars to the free throw line with 21.2 on the clock. Free throw on the way. It's good.
Got to watch Phillips and Blackwell here, right?
Yep. 55-53. Holden on Blackwell. And Parker's on Phillips. So they're counting on the 2 freshmen to be their stoppers. And we'll have a whistle and foul on the floor. Not so sure that that's a terrible foul with 9.2
I agree.
because that's only team foul number 7. So now that sends Peyton Moore to the free throw line for the 1-in bonus. But now the thing is, Coach,
you got to check out.
Make sure you put a body on somebody.
Yeah, you got to make sure you check out. Cash is coming in and got a couple of rebounds.
Cash, Phillips, Moore, Blackwell, Pritchett for
Moore,
Mitchell.
2 of 2 so far tonight.
First one on the way. It's good. Coach, I know you don't want to hear this because there's a long day of tournaments at school and pretzel making tomorrow, but I did tell Coach I felt like this one may go to overtime. It may be right here. He's got to hit this one, though. Second one on the way, and that one's long. Holden with the monster rebound, and on the long rebound, the freshman now will walk to the other end, and he'll try to put the icing on this one. See if he can salt this thing away at the free throw line. That's going to be the 8th personal whistled, or excuse me, 14th whistled, wrong side of the book, 14th whistled against the Jackets.
He's 1 for 2.
And Holden on the night, indeed, 1 for 2. He's got 8 points on the night. What a time to get 9 and 10. Nervous mom and dad behind me. First one up, and that one rattles in and out. No good.
Makes this big. I mean,
Holden really
had a
needs this
chance
one.
to put a 3-point lead.
Second one on the way. Cool as a cucumber. 2 of 4 on the night. 56, 54.
Got a stop ball.
5
Got a
seconds.
stop ball.
Phillips spins, gets into the paint, throws up a wild shot off the mark. No good. Senators win it on the road in the Hive tonight. Senators win 56-54, and what a marquee win for this young team, Coach, against a group that has 3 seniors that they call on for all of their scoring, and a sophomore that's pretty good as well, but a much-needed confidence booster on the road in conference play.
I agree. Especially being up, and we even said it with 8 minutes to, what was it, 7? We were up 11 with 7.5 to go, maybe 12 in the third, somewhere. That was way too much time to be being passive. Don't be passive, And they made some shots and to get it back, and they actually took the lead from us. But this was a great win for the Senators to be, we going to OT against Edinburgh, coming up a little bit short against Perry, to actually come on the road here in Mitchell. Like you said, tough place to play. 3 senior starters and a really good a sophomore, really talented sophomore in Phillips, and we pull out a win. That is a great win for the Senators.
Senators get outscored 24-17 in the 4th quarter, but they had that cushion going into the 4th, and it was just enough to hold on. They win at 56-54. Some clutch play by some guys down the stretch, and Coach and I have talked about this a couple of times. You and I have talked about this. We've come up short so many times against veteran ball clubs, and tonight they get the job done on the road as a proud Papa Mars comes over to check out his son's handiwork. And Nick played a well of a ball game in that second half as he rose to the challenge and helps propel the Senators to the victory here tonight on the road in the Hive. 56-54 is the final. We'll come back to begin our Ace Hardware of Salem Senator post-game show and wrap up from the Hive right after this word from a few of our sponsors.
Hello, police. I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. Let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy, and he knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Back to the Hive after a thriller in conference play tonight. Who says the Patoka Lake Athletic Conference can't play some exciting ball on a Friday night in Southern Indiana as the Senators bounce back after those two tough losses to Perry Central and the overtime heartbreaker to Edinburgh, and they shake up the conference just a little bit as they get their first win in conference play, now going to 1-2 in league play, 5-8 overall. And we're joined now by Victoria Senator head coach Mr. Sean Smith. Coach, what an outstanding win for your ball club tonight. Super impressed with your guys and the way they responded. And I've just got to ask, and you may not want to share, I'm assuming you got after your seniors a little bit, especially Nick Morrison challenged him a little bit because he came out like a man possessed in the third.
Well, what happens in the locker room stays in the locker room. But no, really proud of them. The guys really responded in the second half, and Nick really stepped up and played the way we expect him to play as a senior, and Cam stepped up and played with a lot of toughness too. And then, those guys, they got to understand that this is, it's going to be over real quick for them. Too soon, it's going to be too late for those two. And, they've been great soldiers along the way, great teammates, and played, been role players up until this year, and now this is their time. And you got to go out there and play like it's your time because, the days are dwindling. We're down to 5 weeks now before the tournament, and those guys stepped up and played like seniors, and hopefully they can build on that, and we can move forward, and we just want to keep getting better every week and be running the best race come tournament time. That's what we talk about every year, and this was a big step in that direction.
You and I, whether it's an interview after the game, before the game, or just chatting at school, we've been close so many times against senior-laden ball clubs, and you talked about the 3 seniors that get it done for this Mitchell team in their lineup, and of course the sophomore Phillips. He's going to be a handful for a couple more years. But for your guys to finally kind of close that gap and to get a quality road win, not only in conference but against a senior, junior-laden ball club like this, what's it say about the growth of this team at this point?
Well, maybe we need to have snow breaks more often. I don't know. Maybe
Coach Nance is listening to this.
Maybe that snow break, let them kind of get away from that. Sometimes it's good to get away from, because you're on information overload and you're just going through this kind of rat race, and then, it's sometimes it's good to take a little break and step back and kind of process everything that you've been through so far. And I mean, we've really, these guys, this is all really their first run at this, so they've had a lot of information thrown, thrown at them, and experiences thrown at them. And maybe having a little break was good, just to kind of get their minds right and think about some of the things we've been talking about.
Coach, you talk about it all the time. This free throw deal, you want to make as many free throws in a game as the other team attempts, and. I know that you're familiar with Mitchell, and you've been around long enough to know, in my opinion, one of the toughest venues to play in and to get a win in. And tonight, your guys hit 15. They only attempt 12, and I think that says something about the aggressive nature of your ball club, especially in that second half.
Absolutely, and I think that might be the first game we've had this year where we've achieved that goal. So that's awesome. But, a lot of it goes back to Nick and, Harrison being aggressive inside, and Jake came in and gave us some good minutes in the paint. And we thought we matched up well enough to exploit them inside, and we did a good job of that. In the first half, we had a lot of good looks. We were just rushing them. And then, then we got kind of down on ourselves a little bit in that second quarter and thinking about the shots we were leaving behind instead of, focusing on the next play and letting that kind of maybe dictate our defensive play, and we talked about that at halftime and made some adjustments. And I thought Parker stepped up, played good D on the Phillips kid in the second half. But you're right, he is going to be a handful. He's pretty tough, and but again, the kids answered the call in the third quarter. Really proud of them, and then when Mitchell started to make a run on us and even took the lead, I wondered, will we fold? And we didn't. We showed a lot of toughness. So those type of games right there are great for the sectional, because when you get in a sectional environment, there's a lot of pressure, and especially if you find yourself in an opportunity to win the game, you've got to step up and make plays, and they did that tonight.
Coach, you come out in that third quarter, you start the period on an 11-4 run, and we talked about Nick's prowess scoring-wise to start the second half of play. And while he was the catalyst for you offensively, you talked about Parker just now, and I'm not so sure he wasn't the defensive spark plug you needed, because he held Phillips scoreless in the third quarter for the most part, the time he was on him, and had those two big blocks that kind of seemed to get us going and get some energy defensively.
Yeah, he stepped up, and to the challenge, to defend, and did a good job. And he had a big basket for us. We executed a play there at the end under pressure, and he had a big time basket. I think the winning basket. So you got to give Parker a lot of credit, and Holden and Cam took care of the ball, and with them coming after us, and handle it and play with some toughness there. And we'll get better at stepping up and making free throws. These experiences, it's all part of the process. So we're getting better, and that's what we want to see, and they're real proud of them.
Coach, there's so many guys tonight that you could point out, and we've pointed out so many of them, and I would be remiss if we didn't take the time to highlight your other, in the trio of freshmen, because I thought Jake Strange gave you some quality minutes tonight, 9 points off the bench, and how about this, an old-fashioned three-point play, and he struggled from the line just 38%, but he had that big three-point play that kind of got us going there in the fourth.
Absolutely, yeah. Jake stepped up and made some plays, and Jake's coming along. And, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with down the road if he continues to work at it and get stronger and more explosive and just get better. But, yeah, he stepped up, and that was a great, not really a surprise. He's had some, he played well against Edinburgh, and, when he's into it, when he's focused and he's mentally into it, he can give us some great minutes, and he did tonight.
And, of course, this win sets you up for hopefully a full week of school and practice time to get back into the gym on Monday and get to work for a tough road test. Another one next Friday night, a double dip weekend, and it starts on the road with a very good North Harrison team at the 3A level. But a win like this can do a lot for a young group's confidence heading into a tough environment like that.
Yeah, I'm sure that'll be homecoming. It usually is. North Harrison's definitely one of the better teams on our schedule. They've got they've got some juniors and seniors that are solid players back, and they've got some young guys on the way. North Harrison's probably on the upswing, talent-wise. They've got some really nice players coming, and they had a big win at Brownstown. That's anytime you win at Brownstown, that says something about your team. So, North Harrison's going to be a really, really tough test for us, but again, it's a great opportunity for us to go and work on some things and maybe play some things differently and see where we're at with stuff. And the bigger thing is I'm more excited about the opportunity to practice this week. We just to work on getting better at some things. We're running some of our stuff a little better, but we're still not where it needs to be, and we need to get shots up, and we just need to keep getting better. And it's again, you got a 5-week race now, and we need to have a great leg this week and keep running towards the finish line.
Coach, what an incredible win for you and your staff and this team of yours that's coming a long way. And again, entering this home stretch, hopefully this is something that will be kind of a milestone win that you can build some momentum on as you head down the stretch. Congratulations, and we'll talk to you prior to the tip down at Ramsey on Friday night.
Absolutely. Appreciate it. Thanks
Enjoy
for
your
all
weekend.
Support.
Coach Smith joins us on our Ace Hardware of Salem Senator post-game show. Senators win at 56-54. Let's run down some individual scoring tonight. First for the Mitchell Blue Jackets, they dropped to 5-6 overall, now 1-4 in league play. They get 24 points, a game high for Jarrett Bear Phillips here tonight. 16 of those 24, you got to remember, though, came in the first half of play, and he went scoreless in the third as Parker Green put the clamps down defensively, had a couple of big block shots, and then Phillips had to finish up his scoring in the fourth in the late stages when he tried to will this Mitchell team back into the ball game, and he was able to do just that. Cameron Blackwell, the other scoring threat for this Mitchell ball club, ends the night with 18 points. Peyton Moore chips in 8, Braxton Barrett with 2, Cade Pritchett scoreless on the night, the only starter to not tally. Off the bench, Tyson James, Edric Cash, Luke Lefevre, and Leighton Allen all play, but they only get 2 points off the bench tonight in their offensive production from their reserves, and that was 2 from Edric Cash in the fourth quarter of play. Jackets go 9 of 12 from the free throw line for 75% on the night and give it away 17 times on their home floor in the loss this evening, 10 of those 17 coming in the first half of play. Meanwhile, for West Washington with the thriller here tonight, the big road win. They now go to 5-8 on the year, pick up their first conference win, now 1-2 in the Patoka Lake. They get 2 guys in double figures as well, maybe not as flashy, but these are guys, blue-collar guys that got after it throughout the night. First half was more of a Harrison Sanford show. He had 13 on the night. Nick Mars, though, scores all 14 of his in the second half. As a matter of fact, 11 of those 14 come in the third quarter of play. Holden Bausman with 9 right on his season average, had the big, long defensive rebound to help seal the deal and hit that free throw late to give the Senators the 2-point lead at 56-54. Cam Zink chips in with 5. Parker Green, a really nice defensive effort for him tonight, especially in that second half on Phillips. He chips in 6 as well, 4 of those 6 coming in the second half of play. Jake Strange, Mikey Nichols, and Caden Abels play in the 8-man rotation tonight for Coach Smith, and the reserves get most of their scoring from the big man. In fact, all of it. Jake Strange with 9 points off the bench tonight. A great effort for Jake Strange. Abels and Nichols go scoreless in the contest in limited action. Senators just 15 of 26 from the foul stripe for 58%. But again, as we talked about, they hit more free throws than Mitchell on their home floor attempted as a team. And how often do you see a stat like that in the Hive, especially in a tight game like this? And the Senators commit 14 turnovers on the night, 8 of the 14 coming in the first half. They were stellar taking care of the rock, just 3 giveaways in the fourth quarter, or really last quarter and a half or so for West Washington. Scoring by quarter, 13-9, Senators led after the first stop. They get outscored 15-6 in the second and trail at 24-19 at the halftime break. Third quarter, all West Washington. They absolutely drilled Mitchell in the nose out of the locker room, outscoring the Jackets 20-6, and they carry a 39-30 advantage going into the fourth. And Mitchell storms back to make it interesting down the stretch. They outscore the Senators 24-17 in the final frame, but the Senators hold on and prevail with the big 56-54 win. Coach, you ready for some team statistics?
Absolutely. Shooting-wise, much better in the second half. I know we really harped on that at halftime, that we just weren't shooting the ball well, but we went 10 of 16 inside the arc and 1 of 2 beyond it in the second half. So totally, we went 19 of 41 inside the arc for 46%. Finished up 1 for 9, but that one was a big one at the end of the third quarter beyond the arc. So totally, we were 20 of 50 for 40%. So, much better in the second half, where we were shooting 28% at halftime, ended up at 40. So that was a much better second half shooting the ball. For them, they went 17 of 30 inside the arc, 3 of 13 beyond it for 47%. Free throws still 15 of 26. I think you already covered that. The 58%, it's got to get better. Rebounding again, Senators. There's only been a couple games all year long where the Senators get out rebounded. They battle on the board. Senators win that edge 28-23, 10 offensive rebounds. Nick Mars led us with 8, and Sanford with 6 boards, and they both did a really nice job in the first quarter on the glass. So, assists 16 for the Senators, 13 for the Blue Jackets, 10 steals for us, 7 for them. Everything was pretty even, but again, we won the rebounding edge, and we shot much better in the second half. So it was, I told Coach as he left there that's a great win for the Senators.
Absolutely, and we're going to step aside with those stats given and scorings given, and we're going to take our final break of the night. We're actually going to slip in a couple of sponsor spots. We'll come back and wrap things up from the Hive, put a bow on this one. Senators win it 56-54 on Mitchell's homecoming to spoil the festivities here tonight, but they get that much-needed win on the road in conference play. Back to wrap things up right after this.
With the helpful hardware, folks.
We have 5 kids, and somehow their hands and feet are always on the wall. So I went to Molly at Ace. I told Sharon when it comes to durable paint, you can't do better than Valspar Optimus.
Ace is the place that knows a lot about paint, but not why kids drag their hands on walls when they walk.
Before your next project, talk to your local paint experts, Eva Marie and Erica at Ace Hardware of Salem, about our top-rated interior and exterior paints.
I'm here at John Jones GM City in Salem, Indiana, and I'm talking with sales manager Troy C.
It's 2018. Start your new year with a new car from John Jones GM City in Salem. Save over $9,600 on a new Silverado crew cab. And if you like luxury, drive home a brand new LaCrosse with leather and on-screen navigation. Save up to $12,000. Now that's starting the new year strong. And if zero is your hero, cash in on 0% interest for up to 6 years on qualified vehicles. We also have lots of local trade-ins, many priced around $5,000. It's your year. Start it off strong at John Jones GM City, 1450 Highway 60 in Salem, Indiana. Call 800-I-SELL-GM or visit us online anytime at johnjonesautogroup.com.
John Jones GM City. You see so many because they paid so little.
Back for the final time here tonight to Mitchell High School. Senators win an absolute thriller, 56-54, in what was the best of times, the worst of times, and it's not always how you start a game, but rather how you finish, Coach. And that leads us to our Ace Hardware Player of the Night. We're going to give it to the senior big man, Nick Mars, because he brought his A game after going scoreless in that first half. And, you know, Phillips doing all the damage as a sophomore for Mitchell in that first half, putting up 16. Nick says, anything you can do, I can do just as well. And he showed up with 14 points, 8 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, and again, all 14 coming in the second half to help propel the Senators to the victory tonight and spark an 11-4 scoring run out of the gate in the third quarter, where the Senators took as much as a 12-point lead at 42-30. And, Coach, as I told Coach Smith while he was on air with me, this kind of win in this tough environment only bodes well, hopefully, for this Senator team and gives them some much-needed confidence going into another tough venue down at Ramsey to take on North Harrison next Friday night.
Yeah, he was laughing. I said, nice win. And he said, boy, that makes up for at least one of those 3 that we've given away, which, you know, I assume he's talking about Borden in the Holiday, which we lost in overtime. Edinburgh, we lost in overtime, and then Perry, the 3-pointers.
Right.
So, you know, it'd be nice to get the split next week when we have North Harrison and New Wash. But, you know, this could kind of springboard us. Like you said, you know, it's going to be another tough venue. But if we go down there and play hard, I mean, we showed stretches tonight where we looked really good.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take away the shooting woes in the first half, we looked really good tonight. I mean, the effort was there. We crashed the boards. Obviously we had probably a few too many turnovers, but I mean that's kind of. I mean, this team likes to get up and down a little bit, you know, at times, and you know we make some youngster type mistakes at times, but you know there's nothing to say. Like I said, I haven't really checked into North Harrison a whole lot. I know we talked to Coach Sullivan the other night, and he said, you know, he went and watched them. I believe at some point, didn't they? And you know, it's going to be a good team. It's going to be a tough test, but one thing we do know, this team will compete. So I don't expect us to go down there and not compete, because this team has a lot of fight in them, no matter if it's a senior, junior, sophomore, freshman. These guys will battle.
And the road doesn't get any easier, literally or figuratively, either one for either one of these clubs. Again, West Washington won't play again until next Friday night on the road at Ramsey to take on a very good North Harrison Cougars ball club out of the MSC. Mitchell, meanwhile, will now take the long trip down to Leopold tomorrow night to finish up their conference slate and try to finish at 2-4 if they can get a big win. Of course, Perry playing host to Tom Bradley's Bulldogs tonight. One score we did get, Paoli in the big rematch everybody was highly anticipating within Orange County. Paoli wins over Springs Valley 58-43, the final tonight over Chambers Gymnasium just down the road. So some good conference games going on tonight, but the Senators get the big time win. And as a programming reminder, Coach, a busy week for us again next week. We'll be at home Thursday night for the girls. That'll be their senior night makeup, the game that was supposed to be this past Thursday against Paoli, as they'll wrap up conference play in their regular season.
Hey, hopefully we're going for, shooting for a tie that game too. That'd bring a little bit more even extra excitement.
As long as Paoli can take care of business against the Crawford girls, a win against Paoli would give them a three-way tie for the conference crown. We'll have that game for you with around a 7:10 pregame start Thursday night from the friendly confines on the road. We'll be down at North Harrison, and that one will be probably around a 7:15 pregame start. That's probably going to be their homecoming, as Coach mentioned it usually is. And then you get in that stretch of ball games, at this time of year where you hit everybody's homecoming, whenever you're on the road, or senior night. And then on Saturday night, we'll come back home to take on the New Washington Mustangs in a rematch of a holiday tourney game where the Senators were able to dominate a very young, inexperienced Mustangs team that lacks firepower after losing Stevie Mack and company to graduation from that semi-state run. So a busy slate, 3 games, 3 days. You up for it again, Coach?
Absolutely. We're getting towards tournament time.
Fun time of the year.
This is a very, it's such an exciting time of the year, where I think the girls have their draw on Sunday. So
and that's at 1 o'clock on WSLM, by the way. Nice little
good.
plug.
That's good. I mean, because that's an exciting time. You start talking about sectional time then in Indiana, and you can't get much more excitement than that.
Coach, we'll let you go and get out of here, and we'll talk to you prior to the tip Thursday night in the friendly confines.
Absolutely.
Here tonight, the Senators get 2 guys in double figures, led by Nick Mars's 14 and Harrison Sanford's 13.